So, as we wait for Luton to sign some more players, because I think the whole of the fan base thought at least 1 or 2 additions would have been added this week, let's talk about a player that's been told he's allowed to leave the football club, and that player is Allan Campbell. He hasn't played in pre-season. It's been very vocal by Rob Edwards that he is allowed to leave. He has permission to speak to other clubs, and I thought, let's talk about Allan Campbell, because the fans... we as fans do rate him. I've noticed in my video comments recently, a lot of people going like, why are we not playing Allan Campbell? I thought, let's just talk about it. And the simple answer in why we're not playing Allan Campbell is Rob Edwards does not rate him. Doesn't rate him as highly as the other midfielders at the football club. And also probably believes that he isn't suited to play the way we like to play our football. Now, the football which we're going to be playing this season in the Championship requires our midfield players to be very good on the ball. And I just don't think that is Allan Campbell's strengths. I think Allan Campbell's strengths are off the ball. I think defensively, the running side of things, he's perfect for it, Allan Campbell. And that's why Nathan Jones rated him really highly, because under Nathan's, I feel like under Nathan's style of play, it was more about what you did off the ball. Whereas I think under Rob Edwards, it's going to be what you do on the ball. And off the ball, Campbell is one of the best we've got at the football club, in my opinion, currently. But that isn't what Rob Edwards wants to go into this new Championship season with. And I think it's obvious that Campbell isn't part of Edwards' plan. I think we as fans need to accept that. Managers and, well, everyone in football really, we all have different opinions on players. One manager would say you're good enough, another would say you're actually good enough. But with all these different styles of play and everything else, you need to recruit players or have players within your team that can play the way you want to play. There's no point keeping Campbell at the football club if he's not going to play football. He wants to play football. He wants to play week in, week out. So we need to allow him to do that. Now, last season in the Premier League, Edwards felt he was not the one to stay. We felt we needed to loan him out. And he went out on loan to a club, in my opinion, which suited everything about Campbell, like the style of play and everything else. And that club was Millwall. Now, Millwall had a very poor season last year. Had 3 different managers, 3 different styles of play, and yet Campbell struggled to get into that team. He really did struggle. Lack of minutes within all 3 managers, and that tells you everything you really need to know. He's had multiple managers now. The last 4 managers that he's played under, 3 at Millwall and 1 at Luton, have not played him regularly. So he needs to go to a place and find a home again. He needs to go back and love his football again. And that could be in Scotland. The reason why I'm doing today's video is because Hibs and Aberdeen have been linked with Allan Campbell. So maybe he's got to go back home, or he could go back to Motherwell, which he was highly rated at by their fans. I think he needs to figure out, Allan Campbell, what is his position. Because for me, he's a defensive midfielder. When we signed him from Motherwell, I felt he was a defensive mid. But we never played him as a defensive mid. We were playing him further forward. We were allowing him to do all the running and pressing teams, which is great. But on the ball, he didn't really offer much. He wasn't someone that was going to get you 10 goals a season. He's a different type of midfielder. And that isn't the midfielder Edwards currently wants at the football club. So I understand why we are allowing him to go. Whereas I feel like some fans don't completely understand it. Hopefully I've explained it a little bit better. In reality, he just doesn't suit the style of play which we want to play. I can see him going in the next couple of weeks. I'm surprised he hasn't gone. And that adds another thing as well. If he's amazing, which we as fans think he is, why hasn't he not got a new club yet? We've already told clubs he's available. Why hasn't he got a new club yet? Surely if he's that high, that good of a footballer, he would have gone by now. So that explains something as well, because the transfer window has been open for, a couple of months, 2 months now, loads of weeks. So he should have been gone by now if he was, high, up to that standard. Maybe we're asking for too much money. I don't know. We will get some money back from this deal. He's got, I believe, 1 year left in his contract. But right now, I just don't see him playing in a Luton shirt again. Unless all of our midfielders get injured, which, knowing Luton, that can happen. But we have hired a new head of medical, which is really good. Hopefully that improves the injuries we keep getting at the football club, or simply helps recovery a lot better. Something needs to happen in our physical department, medical department, because yeah, it's not been good. 2 injury crises in 3 years has not helped that. But yeah, fingers crossed Luton do something the next couple of days. I'm struggling for video ideas, as you can tell. That's why I thought I'd talk about Allan Campbell today. But I hope Allan finds a club. I hope he finds a club that plays to his strengths. For me, he's a defensive midfielder, and I hope that he can rediscover his form again, because he was very good under Nathan. He really was, and he became a bit of a fan favourite at Luton because of what he did off the ball, and he's non-stop, running, the doggy work, which I like to call it. So I hope he can become a fan favourite again, because I really liked him. I really did. But I can understand why he's not staying at the football club, because he just simply does not fit the style which Edwards likes to play, especially now and going forward. So, yeah, fingers crossed Allan Campbell can find his home again. And, yeah, I'll see you guys all in the next video, where hopefully I'm talking about Luton signing a new player. If not, I've got to figure out a new idea for a new video.